Hello there, West Side with it Royal Family. It is your girl Lay of Natural Lay, spiritually known as Luna La Negra. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. As always, I would love to greet you in peace with a divine prayer known as the Anabacoa. Anabacoa, Gijalatilika, Tatir Tizura, Kabel Renat, Amsha Satvinu Taharanu Nora. Nagibor, Dorshayigadeka, Kavavat Shamram, Barkuntarum, Rakame, Tazikateka, Tamid Gamlum, Chasim Kadosh, Baraftufka, Nahelrateka, Yikid Ge'e, Lamchampane, so Krekadushateka, Shavatanu Kabel, Ushma, Tazakatane, Yadea Ta'alamut, Burukshem, Kavod Malkuta, Alangaye. Thank you once again. As you can see, we're finally outside. I felt like we should change settings, so that's why we're here. So I do pardon any external noises you may hear. I will do my best to project and to make this as clear, concise, and precise as possible, so that way I can get you out fast, okay? So today's course is Understanding Written Rhythm, specifically Trochaic meter. This is week 3 of this class with Natural Lay. So if you have not started this course from the beginning, please make sure you do so. I will flash the card, and also at the end of the video I will list the playlist. So definitely tune into this. It's pretty exciting, I think. And the entire reason why we're here is because I was restarting to learn this divine prayer known as the Usnisa Vajaya, and I thought that it would be pretty unique and fun and interesting to invite you all with me to learn it with me as I am learning it in my style, which is rhythmic. I'm a very rhythmic person, and so I'm breaking this down via poetry terms and music terms in terms of mantras. So thank you again for being here. If you do not already, please grab pen, paper, notebook, and pretty, right? And the Usnisa Vajaya print out. You should have the print out. It should look like this. So go get your materials. But today we're going to keep it very short and sweet. I don't want to be repetitive, so if there's something you do not understand, I would definitely like to implore you to go back to previous videos and catch up on what you do not understand, because at this point I would like to move forward and not be repetitive. So, I first and foremost want to give, I know I got notes always. So first and foremost, I would like to say that this is not a course on the language of Sanskrit. Sanskrit is an ancient and divine language in which most mantras and divine prayers are written in. And for the sake of the Usnisa Vajaya, I only touched on it in week 1, and I actually will circle back today as to the homework assignment, because that was actually rather interesting. So we'll jump into homework at the end of the video. So you had 2 weeks to do this, and I understand there may have been a beautiful little challenge with that, and I will explain why. So we will get to homework at the end. So please stay. So this is not a course, again, on the language of Sanskrit, but being able to identify patterns and have a solid foundation to enable you to consciously seek out and apply these patterns in other written texts, such as poems and music. So pretty much I'm just laying a foundation, so that way you're not just only learning something from me, but you understanding the why behind it. So once you have the why, you can then apply this to other areas of your life. Pretty simple. And yes, you know, if you are an aspiring writer or an aspiring musician, learning these technical terms and learning how it is that other artists and greats use these patterns and these tools to create the works that they do will aid your work to be just as compelling and as spellbinding. So, yay. So, first and foremost, we're going to go over the vocabulary. So trochaic meter is the name of a metrical foot based on the patterns of stresses being accented followed by unaccented, aka our UB trolling faces of feet, or this face of a foot. So, accented followed by unaccented, 1 plus 1 equals 2, this plus this equals a trochaic meter. This is the visual of a trochaic meter in poetry, okay? So this is, again, a little face that I created for you to remember this. And instead of the winky eye, as we called it last week, being first, which would make it iambic for I am winking, we have our slanted eye, or our kind of side eye first. And if you're not winking at someone first, you might be thinking, are they trolling? So we have our UB trolling trochaic meter face, okay? So I hope that makes sense, and that's a fun little way for you to remember it. Now, so that is our vocabulary. So trochaic is in reference of the pattern. So because it starts this way, it's trochaic. If it started the other way, it would make it iambic. And there are other types, but for the sake of this class, we are only sticking with the main two. And this week, we're focusing on the trochaic pattern. And it's a meter because that's what a dissected piece of a line of music or poetry is called. It's measured in meters. So, now that we have gotten that out of the way, I wanted to touch on why mantras actually aren't identifiable. So, if you stayed for this part, yay you. So, although this is not a course in Sanskrit, I do want to say that Sanskrit is a mathematical and scientific language. Sanskrit is a mathematical and scientific language with no punctuation marks. They're actually encoded within the words or body of text themselves. So although patterns can be detected, they don't belong to a classification system per the English language or per the Roman language. So what do I mean by that? I actually am referencing our homework. So our homework for the first couple of weeks was to break up the first paragraph of the Usnisa Vijaya by feet and syllables. In a foot, you can have either 2 or 3 syllables. And come to find out in doing this myself, depending on how one pronounces these words, the Usnisa Vijaya in particular is broken down by either 2 or 3 feet. I personally, it makes sense rhythmically to me as 3 syllables per foot. However, I also detected 2 per foot, but then it switches. So that switch in itself made it known that it cannot be classified. There is no identification system. And I think that that's something really special because, again, the whole purpose of mantras is that they're divine, right? They have there's a certain magic within mantras that, within that language in particular, it can't be deciphered in English or broken down per the English language as we know it today. And I think that's really beautiful. I think that's really beautiful. But, so what's unique is that this class, you can actually take these principles and put them to other uses in your life. But in terms of mantras, although we have a background knowledge, it does not apply to mantras. So, at best, before I get there, the whole purpose of learning mantras, there's many purposes, but ultimately you want to add facets and you want to receive the blessings that the mantras are blessing the one reciting it with, because each mantra is different. And with the Usnisa Vijaya in particular, it aids in really getting rid of misfortunes and mishaps in one's life. And if said multiple times, and if said enough in repetition, specifically 108 times or more per day, it will allow one to reincarnate into a rich family or a non-poor family, a wealthy family. There we go. So to receive the full benefits of any mantra, not only the Usnisa Vijaya, you must have faith and confidence in the power of the energy of the words. That is what matters. You should never fear mispronouncing. Why? Because the gods and the ascended masters, all they see is you trying. They want us to try. So long as you're trying and you're putting in the effort and you have the utmost faith and belief that what this mantra is proposed to do will work for you, that in itself, you've created an energy field of winning. So, I don't want us to get hung up on mispronunciation, because we are actually going to be starting with pronouncing, finally, right? Took 3 weeks. It's a plane. Sorry. But, yeah, so we're going to be reciting, and I don't want you to get hung up. I want to alleviate that right away. If you just breathe in a couple times and let it go, and I will do a breathing exercise before we get started. But before we get started with actually beginning to pronounce the Usnisa Vijaya, I want to give a couple of examples of Trochaic meter. So I have one sentence and 2 pieces of music, if you will, to kind of show what this would look like outside of a mantra. So the sentence that we came up with is, "Hey girl, how have you been?" And of course, we broke it down for you. So, "Hey girl, stressed, unstressed, how have you been?" "Hey girl, how have you been?" Right? So you can see here, hey girl, how have you been? 2 syllables per foot, 3 feet makes it trochaic trimeter, because it's trochaic because of the accented followed by unaccented. We get trochaic, and it's a trimeter. The type of meter is tri. It's a 3-foot meter in incorrect pronunciation, but because it is 3 feet long, it is a trimeter. And you probably jump down to the music example. So I want to also again say that musicians and poets in general, we're magicians. We don't follow structure, and although you could probably get a taste of something in one area of the work, that doesn't necessarily mean that the entire piece of work will follow those guidelines. However, you can detect hints of it in the piece. So the first music example we have is Desperado by Rihanna, and literally only that word. So I don't think it's called anything if it's just one word. Well, maybe it is. Let me go back to the week 1's notes. Okay, we might have a trochaic manometer on our hands. It's a 1-foot line. Awesome. So Desperado, literally just that word in itself, more or less, is a trochaic manometer. It's a 1-foot line. You know what? Desperado. It might not be. There's 4 syllables there. Who knows? We'll scratch all that, but for sure it's a manometer. So, Desperado. Accented, unaccented, accented, unaccented. So, there's your music example number 1. That's the best that I could find. And also, our second one is Eminem's "You Better Lose Yourself" or "Lose Yourself." This one is a 3-syllable foot, and this would what is it called with 2 feet? So I'm referring back to my notes from week 1. It's a trochaic diameter. So a 2-foot line is a diameter, and I'm referring to this page from week 1, how many feet in a line. This is how we get it. Different lengths of meters are called something different. You don't say a 5-foot meter, 4-foot meter, a 6-foot meter. They translate into something else, like an octagon, octopus. You don't say an 8-legged squid. So, going back to this week's notes. Here we go. You better. 3. Again, a foot or a meter can have 2 or 3 syllables. 2 is most common. 3 is what geniuses use. Not all geniuses, but So, you better lose yourself. You better lose yourself. You see how that works? So those are the best music examples I can find. And specifically, they're not whole songs, but you can, now that you know the background information, you can probably find a piece of music or a piece of written word. And it can identify these easily now. So going back to if you were writing, if you're curating your own music or a book of poetry of any kind, you can now do intentional work, if that makes sense. You can now do something intentional, because the way things are catchy is because of the pattern. So now that you know how to consciously make patterns, you can encode them in your pieces of text and work, so that way it's subconsciously catchy to the audience. And that's what makes something pretty historic and long-lasting, such as Henry Longfellow's, what is Henry Longfellow's work? Midsummer's Night Dream, or was that Shakespeare? I think Shakespeare was Midsummer's Night Dream, but something by Henry Longfellow, Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night Dream. A lot of those heavily well-renowned pieces of work are renowned because they intentionally wrote in these styles of rhythmic, written rhythm. So, okay, now we got all of that out of the way. The part you've all been waiting for. Let's pronounce! Yay! So we're going to break this up. The first paragraph, we're going to break it up into 3 parts. So although in technicality, mantras do not have visual punctuation marks, we're going to utilize the ones on the paper. So for today, we're going to recite and learn the pronunciation up until the word Om. O-M, okay? So we're going to stop right here today. And y'all know the ice cream truck loves to roll through and let us know things are sweet, so I'm all right. So I'm going to say the first line up until Om first. I'm going to say it a couple times, and then I'll slow it down, and you can say it along with me. You can even say it along with me as I'm saying it now. And I do hope you can hear me. I'm going to try to hurry up before the ice cream truck get down here. Namo Bhagavate, Trilyoka, Pradavisastaya, Buddhaya Bhagavate, Tariyata Om. Namo Bhagavate, Trilokya, Pradavisastaya, Buddhaya Bhagavate, Tariyata Om. Namo Bhagavate, Trilokya, Pradavisastaya, Buddhaya Bhagavate, Tariyata Om. Namo Bhagavate, Trilokya, Pradavisastaya, Buddhaya Bhagavate, Tariyata Om. Namo. Here it comes. Namo Bhagavate. Namo Bhagavate. Namo Bhagavate. Namo. The ice cream truck is here. It got to me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wait for it to pass.
No, China. Make sure I lock this door.
Okay. It's just creeping. video. You so rude. Okay, the music stuff. Namo Bhagavate. Try, you can break Trilokya into 3 parts. Trilokya. Prativisistaya Buddhaya Bhagavate Tadiyata Om. Namo Bhagavate Trilokya Prativisistaya Buddhaya Bhagavate Tadiyata Om. Watch my mouth. Namo Bhagavate Trilokya Prativisistaya Buddhaya Bhagavate Tadiyata Om. Pretty simple, right? All right. So it's your new homework. Learn that first line. Say it at least, for sure, in the morning and before you go to bed. If you can repeat it multiple times throughout the day, that would be perfect. If you have the capability to voice record yourself and listen to it over and over again so you get it, perfect. If you would like to move on, that will be also perfect. And I will say the second line for our advancers, and we will close out. Visudeya, I'll say it all the way through. We're going to stop at mom, M-A-M, where the period is. For those who want to proceed further after you feel you've mastered the second line. Visudeya, Visudeya, Asama Sama, Samantava Bahasa, Sparana Gati Gahana, Svabhava Visudi, Abizinkatu Mam. Visudeya, Visudeya, Asama Sama, Samantava Bahasa, Sparana Gati Gahana, Svabhava Visudi, Abizinkatu Mam. Visudeya, Visudeya, Asama Sama, Samantava Bahasa, Sparana Gati Gahana, Svabhava Visudi, Abizinkatu Mam. All right. Look at you pronouncing. High five. Very great job. So I hope you enjoyed week three's class. I had a very fun time. Let me know what you thought of this class. On a scale of 1 through 10, did you enjoy? Did you learn something new? Do things finally make more sense? And are you as excited to learn this mantra as I am? So again, I found you in peace. I would love to leave you in peace. I will also link actually some articles below as to why mantras do not have punctuation marks. I found some really compelling articles, so I'll put those links in the description below. So definitely be reading the description box. I put a lot of information in there as well as in the comments. So check those 2 places and you can never go astray. Ashe. I would say, Nama Bhagavate. I'm going to get good. Watch. We're going to get it, family. Anabacoa. Gijalat Yaminka. Tatir Tizrura. Kabel Renard Amsha Sagvenu Taharunu Nora. Nagibor Dorshei Gadeka. Kavavat Shamram Barkum Taram. Rakame Tazika Teka Tamir Gamlam. Chasin Kadosh Prav Tufka Nahela Teka. Yikid Ge'e, Lam Champane, Zokre Kadushateka, Shavatanu Kabel, Ushma Tzakatanu, Yodea Ta'alamut, Burrak Shim Kavod Malkut, Nalam Vaye. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here and tuning in. I do want to say that if you are interested in learning the Anabacoa, because I personally feel that if you've been watching this channel, you should either be knowing it by now or on the road to learning it. It is one of the simpler mantras, and I'm not saying that all of them are simple, but if you're interested in learning it breakdown-wise, Coach KHAYR is teaching how to break it down. So if you follow him on, or if you have him as a friend on Facebook, and his name is KHAYR Carter, I'll put his link in the description below. He is going live. When he goes live, he's starting out his lives with breaking down the Anabacoa. Now, the caveat: do not go to him saying Lay sent you and you did not send him a message. He needs you to send him a message first. He does not accept friend requests if you do not send him a message. So I didn't tell you to go over there. This is like my 4th, 5th time saying this on this channel, so I got proof. But do not add him as a friend without sending a message, okay? And I don't know what the message could be. It could be anything, you know? Hey, what's up? I don't know, but send that man a message, okay? And he does also have a YouTube channel. We'll link it below. Sometimes, not all the time, he'll put the live videos or the videos that he goes live for on Facebook on YouTube. So if you're not able to catch it on YouTube, that means you need to be his friend, and to be his friend on Facebook, you need to send him a message. So please, I implore you to do that. Learn these mantras, learn divine prayers, imprint them in your soul. That is exactly what they do. We got ice cream truck number 2 going, so we're gonna go. And I already closed out in prayer. So thank you again. Come back next week for week 4, aka we're gonna be a month in. And we're going to just continue with pronunciation now that we have our foundation. So yay, we can now build a strong house because we laid the bricks. Quarter brick, half a brick. Anyway, love you. Don't you ever forget to stay magical. Always. Mwah. Luna La Negra out.